I'm Sandy Hayes, your empath manifestation coach, and today we're going to be talking about some manifestation misconceptions just to help ground manifestation and understand what it truly is about. How are you doing? I guess. And then if anyone's able to join live, great. If not, great too. But yeah, the first misconception about manifestation, actually, let me back up. I want to discuss what manifestation is before we get into what it is not. So manifestation is the act of calling something in on an energetic level before it comes into the physical. And this can be anything. It can be even coming into the physical. It could just be inner work. It could be self-love. It could be money. It could be something for free. It's really anything. Manifestation covers everything. It's not just related to material items like money. It's not just what you get for free, and I'll go into this more. But basically, manifestation is an accumulation of your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. So that's the basics of what manifestation is. Yeah. So the first one that I wanted to talk about is that, like I said, manifestation means getting something for free. And that's the only way that you can manifest. I see that a lot in the spiritual community, on social media here, and that's false. You can definitely get things for free. You can get unexpected checks, you can get unexpected money, you can definitely manifest things for free. But like I said before, manifestation is much broader than just manifesting things for free. A lot of times when you manifest something, there is an energetic exchange that goes into that manifestation. Whether you're, so my example is that I manifested my current business coach, Kristen. I had been thinking about a specific program or a specific group of things that I wanted in a program, and then I also wanted the option to work one-on-one. And this was back in April. And so one day I was going through my emails, and I always get so many emails. I normally just swipe and just delete them all. I'm like, delete, delete, delete. But then something stopped me from deleting this one email, and I opened it up, and it was from my now coach, and she had the exact program that I had called in my mind, or I created in my mind, and seeing it in this email. This was the first time I had seen this email. I'd seen this offer. Like, I didn't even know it existed, but like the month or two prior, I was like, this is what I want. And then I just left it up to the universe. I just detached from it, and I just knew like it was going to happen when it was meant to. And I found this, and it was all perfectly aligned with exactly what I needed and was going through at that point. So I signed up and started working with her. So that's just one example of manifesting. And hey, Kate, thanks for joining. So I'm going over some manifestation misconceptions now. So feel free to ask me any questions that you have around manifestation. But we're just going over the first one, which is that manifestation is much more than just manifesting things for free. Manifestation generally includes some type of energetic exchange, which is what I was just about to get into. Thanks so much for joining. I'm so glad you're here. The example I just gave about manifesting my business coach, now she wasn't for free. There was an energetic exchange there. Like, I paid for her services and she provided me the services, and that is definitely a manifestation. And even though it's not for free, doesn't mean it's not a manifestation, because we are all manifesting all the time. And like I mentioned before you joined live, that manifestation is accumulation of our thoughts, our emotions, and our actions. And that's literally how we manifest 24/7. Whether we have negative thoughts or positive thoughts, whether we have, I'll get into that a little bit more here with the next point that I have. But yeah, so that was the first point that I had related to, like I said, manifestation is only getting things for free, which, like I said, is false. And then the second one is that manifestation is just the law of attraction. There's actually 12 plus universal laws. Actually, there's 12 universal laws that are the standard, but the coach that I worked with when I learned manifestation, there's more than that she's discovered. So that's why I say 12 plus. So just depending where you read about manifestation from. But the law of attraction is your thoughts. That's the thoughts part of this. You attract what you think. So basically, if you think things don't work out for you, you're going to keep attracting situations where things don't continue to not work out for you. If you start to believe that, trying to think of a good example. Yeah, if you think that all men are like going to hurt you, then you're just going to keep attracting relationships where men are just going to continue to hurt you in different patterns. So this is where your thoughts really come into your manifestations, and rewiring our thoughts, working with our limiting beliefs. That's a huge one. So that's the first part of manifestation is, like I said, our thoughts, which is the law of attraction. But manifestation is much more than that. So the law of vibration is our emotions. So that's where our emotions come into this. Hi, Grace. Grace's dad, thanks for joining. Let me know if you have any questions on manifestation. And so the law of vibration is all about your emotions. So Abraham Hicks talks about this emotional frequency, our emotional scale. I forget what they call it, but the way I learned it was actually through Dr. David R. Hawkins, and he actually, you can Google it, it's the scale of consciousness or scale of emotional, I'm blanking on the name now, but I think he has a book called Map of Consciousness, Map to Consciousness. But either way, if you just type in Google like David R. Hawkins emotional scale, it'll pop up if you're interested. But yeah, so basically this scale actually shows, and it's been scientifically studied and researched, that all of our emotions have a electromagnetic frequency attached to them. And that electromagnetic frequency is what broadcasts our emotions to the universe in terms of manifestation. And that's how it is projected out through our heart. Our heart is our main manifestation tool. This is how Dr. Joe Dispenza, he talks about that the heart is, 5,000 times stronger than, I can't quite remember, but it's very strong. It's just the strongest part of the human body. I'll have to look that up if anyone's interested. But yeah, so based on where we are on this emotional scale, there is, I believe it starts with shame and fear is at the very bottom, and then it works its way up. And the very top is enlightenment and peace, and I'm definitely getting them out of order, but there's many in between. And where we're at on this emotional frequency is where we're going to manifest. So if you have a lot of fear, if you have a lot of fear-based thoughts, you're going to continue attracting things to trigger you, to challenge you, and to really get you to heal that. But a lot of us don't realize that's what's happening, and we just continue repeating patterns over and over again in our lives, and in many areas of our lives, in relationships, in our jobs, really anything. A way to work on healing that, I would say, is many empaths are very disconnected from their emotions. Now you would say empaths are very empathic. We are very sensitive to emotions. Well, we're very sensitive to other people's emotions, especially in the beginning stages of our spiritual awakening journey. Generally, we became very hyper-focused on other people, especially our parents in our childhood, and we learned to tune into everyone else's emotions but disconnect from ourselves in order as a trauma response. So that is where that comes into play. And then learning how to connect with our emotions and actually tune into what we're feeling at any given moment is emotional regulation. So learning to meditate, learning to calm the nervous system, learning to ground. Like, these are all very important tools that help us to release these emotions that we carry. We generally carry these for others, and not only do we tune into other people and are hyper focused on them, but then unconsciously we pick up and we carry these emotions for others, which generally leads us to getting chronic illness, anxiety, depression, etc. Just so many things out there. And then the third part of manifestation is the action. So there's the law of action, or as my teacher refers to it, is the law of inspired action. And my teacher that I've done a course through is Manifestation Babe, or Catherine Zenkina, and she's amazing. She just has so many insights, and I just loved being able to learn from her in her one course last year and then another one this year. But yeah, like I said, the law of inspired action. So the way that manifestation works is we state our desire, and then we deal with the limiting beliefs. We deal with the emotions that come up related to that, and then we move into the visualization and connecting to this new frequency, this new thing that we're calling in, and then we take inspired action. Now, there's a difference between regular, good old action and inspired action. Basically, action, what I like to think of as like the old paradigm or old world paradigm, is hustle, having to work till you burn out. And I have done this so many times throughout my life. And it's something that I continually have to watch what I do, because I will overwork myself at times. And when it comes to my business, I love what I do, so sometimes I forget. But like I said, having a daily self-care practice and taking time for things that bring you joy, all of that is just really key to prevent that burnout from whatever you're doing in life. Like, definitely need self-care. And self-care is crucial for your mental health. And then when it comes to inspired action, so the difference between regular action and inspired action is a lot of times we get into the state where we feel like we have to continually do things to prove our worth, and that ends up like I said, where the burnout comes in. That's where just so many things come into play related to the action. So if we're not actually tuned into our intuition and taking the just inspired action instead of trying to do all the things, so there is a difference when it comes to that. And learning to reconnect to your intuition is really key for differentiating between just regular action and inspired action. But like I said, there's many other universal laws related to manifestation, but if it's anything you're interested in, I can always discuss those later. But the third misconception that I wanted to talk about was the high vibe only. So I see that a lot in the spiritual community is you have to think positive thoughts all the time. You have to, you have to be positive. You can't think negatively. And kind of in addition to what I was saying before is the way you manifest is based on your thoughts and your emotions, but we're human. We're not expected to be perfect. And that's actually the next one I'll get into is we don't have to be perfect. Honestly, just being aware of our thoughts and being aware of our emotions and just, like I said, checking in with ourselves daily, allowing ourselves to feel what we're feeling, think what we're thinking, and continually be curious and question what we're thinking, question what's going on. So if something comes up, it's like, oh, this never works out for me. Well, question that. Where did this come from? Why am I thinking this? Does this work for other people? Yes. Well, why can't it work for me? So just, like I said, continually checking yourself. And then when it comes to your emotions, like when you start feeling some type of big emotion come up, check in with your body. And this is something that's so new to many of us, is we've never been taught how to connect to our bodies. And this is where, like I said, meditation comes into play. It's really learning to connect to our bodies and connect to what we're feeling. And so many of us have this emotional armor up, and it's basically has shut off your emotions in a way. It's numbed it or dulled it down, and that emotional armoring takes place in our lower chakras, generally the root chakra. And like I said, that's a trauma response from when we were children, and learning to de-armor, learning to connect to our emotions. This is a crucial part of the manifestation process, because our thoughts and our emotions is really key to what we're manifesting. And shadow work is a big part of the manifestation process, because we can't get to the light. We can't get to a higher vibrational frequency, which is a real thing. Like I said, based on that scale of that emotional scale, there's higher vibe emotions and lower vibe emotions. So it is a real thing, but it doesn't mean that we have to be high vibe all the time. Like I said, we're human. So working through our emotions, but not letting us get swept up in them, and not getting into this perpetual state of shadow work, of continually feeling like there's something missing, like we're broken. We have to just keep working on ourselves. There has to be a balance to that. And that's a pattern I've fallen into as well, which is kind of like the opposite of that high vibe. It's very like opposite, like not saying that you don't feel those higher vibrational emotions, but you just constantly am like, oh, I have to fix this in me. I have to do this. I have to do that. And so there has to be a balance between the shadow and the light work when it comes to manifestation. And that's something I want to discuss in another call. So feel free to comment below if that's something you'd be interested in hearing about more. So then the fourth one is, like I said, you have to be quote unquote perfect. And this comes from perfectionism. So many of us carry this need to be perfect, but at the same time we feel the complete opposite. We feel like we are not perfect at all. We feel like there's no way we're gonna ever get to this place. And I just want to say again, we are human. We're not meant to be perfect. We're not meant to be this human definition of perfect, where we're without flaws. The reason that we're here is to embrace our flaws, to embrace our humanness, embrace our uniqueness. And as we do this, we connect to our soul purpose, and that leads us to manifesting better. So, all right, so then the fifth one is, there's an old world paradigm that I like to say, that's that you have to see it in order to believe it. And there's so many people that have to see that proof before they'll believe something. Now, when it comes to manifestation, that's not how it works. The way manifestation works is you have to believe it in order to see it. So basically, you have to see it in your mind. You have to train your body and your nervous system to, like I said, work through the limiting beliefs, work through any emotional misalignments when it comes to what you're calling in. Do you feel worthy of it? Like, are you afraid to take action? Like, what would this new level or new version of you, this future self version of you be doing? And how can you get to that point? But yeah, so basically you have to see it in your mind and your body has to believe it in order to really manifest what you're consciously trying to manifest. So that's, like I said, a really big piece of it. And like I said, so many of us have been trained, like, if we don't have that proof, that it's not going to work. But like I said, manifestation is just the complete opposite. And it definitely takes time, because our ego likes to just get in the way and say, well, I need the proof. And yeah, manifestation. But yeah, we need to put that aside and release that and go with this new world process. And this is how manifestation works. And then the last one, or the sixth one that I wanted to cover, was when you want to manifest something or call something in, the best way to do that is to give that. So, for example, you want to make more money. You want to bring more money in. The best way to do that is start being grateful for the money that you already have. Start being grateful. Start finding ways that you can give more money, that you can give in a way that's safe for you. Can you donate money here? Can you give a bigger tip than normal? Like whenever that feels right to you. And if you want to manifest more love, if you want to call in a partner, the best way to do that is to start giving yourself love. This is where self-love is key, because once we start radiating this within our energy, within our energetic fields, that's when the universe is like, okay, they're ready, she's ready, he's ready, they're ready for this to come in. And that is how that plays out with the energy, because manifestation, and I know I already talked so much about all of this today, and I know manifestation is very heavy, so I will, like I said, leave you all with this, but manifestation has a lot to do with quantum physics, and there's been a lot of science behind that. So if anyone's interested in learning about any of that, feel free to comment below, send me a DM. Like I said, I'd really love to hear from all of you what you think about what manifestation is. And yeah, so I just want to thank you all for being here, and I hope you have a great day, afternoon, night, whatever time you're watching this on the replay. All right, love you all. Bye.